Hello to our fellow students from around Europe.
Hello everyone.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning to everybody.
Hello everyone.
Hello everyone.
Hello everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you all here.
Hello from Latvia.
Ahoy, hello Europe, and good morning to everybody present here.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, it is my profound honor to be representing my country and my school on the grounds of the European Parliament.
Coming from Madeira, all the way across Europe, and being here in France made me realize that even though we're so far apart, we can all be together fighting all of the problems that we face today. And quoting Paulo Coelho,
the challenges our generation faces cannot be solved by any nation if it fights alone. They can only be solved by us, the European community. If we fight together, we need to bear this responsibility.
We are the ones who are in charge in the future of Europe, and we can and must fulfill our duty to our unborn children. So, let us accept diversity, promote unity, and rise up to the challenges we're going to debate today. Thank you.
We must therefore prove that we are a society of people, not just states. Because only in this way we'll be able to coexist harmoniously and continue our course in a rapidly changing world.
I agree and think that it's really important for us young adults and teenagers to put energy in how our country and community is ruled, because we are the future and we can make a difference. Thank you so much.
Fala diridiko, ja sam večeral gagala, ja sam večeral gagala, ja sam večerala.
So my name is Edvinas, I come from Lithuania, and I have a question. Recently, a resolution on the importance of European remembrance for the future of Europe was announced. And it says that Europe should honor the victims of totalitarian regimes of Soviet Union and Nazi Germany as if they were equals. This day is set on the 23rd of August, the day when the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact was signed. So I would like to ask, will it affect the euro positively when the Soviet Union played the major role in the fight against the Soviet Union, and will it affect the Europe positively if we will consider these both ideologies as equal, when it was not only the Soviet Union who signed such pacts with Germany? For example, we all know a Munich agreements when the state of Czechoslovakia was divided, was annexed by Germany because French country have let the Nazi Germany to annex the Sudetenland. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Matthias. I come from Finland, and I know that the European Union is committed to protecting minorities and human rights. But my question would be that. What are the concrete things that we can do instead of just condemning and sending strong letters, but what we can actually do to hold governments responsible for their actions in this regard?
Hello, my name is Tudor, I'm from Romania, and in the presentation it said that Europe would have gone green by 2050, that would be 30 years. Do you think 30 years is fast enough to save the species that are currently dying and to stop climate change at its current rate? Thank you.
My name is Luis Caldeira, I'm from Portugal. What do you think will be the causes and the effects that will cause on the European Union if UK exits the European Union?
Hello, I am Elpida from Greece. I have a question about migration. What should the member states of the European Union do in order to manage the continuing flows of immigrants and refugees from other continents in the Europe-Mediterranean region, except for financial assistance?
On education, we believe that education should, on environmental problems, how to recycle, all that all that aspect should be taught on schools. Workshops should be made and programs for the elderly. and promotion of renewable energies, possibly through social media and promotion of renewable energy. So natural resources. To implement renewable energy, investment and research on renewable energy such as geothermal, hydro energy, and usage of unused areas of terrain for renewable energy such as mountains, landscape, which are not being used and should be made use of. Investment in tree plantation and creation of natural parks, and to make illegal any act of deforestation, whether it be ripping off a plant off the floor or as we see in the Amazonian forest.
Today, Germany is one of the countries who invest most in renewable energy. It has last year invested more than 46 billion euros in this matter, and it has resulted in 1% less renewable energy. We're investing, we're trying. Germany is leading in this matter, and it's only getting worse because we use so much more energy. And if you use a result that, I think, Fukushima, I'm not entirely sure, but there was this problem with nuclear energy, but that was an old nuclear power plant in old situations with the combination of a tsunami. And if you compare the radiation today of that nuclear plant, it's less than if you sit in an airplane for even 30 minutes. The difference is a factor 20. If you're in an airplane, the radiation around you is 20 times as much than as you're in the area of that nuclear power plant burning down. I think that is a clear result that shows we need something else than renewable energy, as nuclear power is the solution here.
As we all know that in the past our ancestors have fought for democracy and human rights for ages, since the Napoleonic Wars to the Second World War and so on. So if we would restrict these human rights, we would stop the progress, and the whole system would just go to the past. Also, we had some statements that people don't feel safe due to the migrants, and that it is a very serious problem in the European country when migrant crisis is occurring. But instead of limiting the amount of migrants or even restricting the human rights to stop this problem, we decided that we should just grant better security measures in the regions. So if we will educate people better to understand the problems of terrorism, migration, and other issues that are common in the European Union, the society wouldn't need any censorship or any restrictions. They would just would be able to understand it on their own.
My name is Olivia and I'm representing Sweden. And you talked about that people are afraid at night because of immigrants. And I think I'm afraid when I go outside at night. I'm afraid of everybody. It doesn't matter where they come from. I can be afraid of you. I can be afraid of you. It doesn't matter if you're an immigrant or not. And I think that shouldn't be even a suggestion or a question where you come from, deciding if you're afraid of the person or not.
We agreed on 4 things. The first one we agreed on was to recognize the serious nature of alcohol abuse and to recognize that it is a big problem, particularly in countries like Sweden, Estonia, or my home country, Finland. Alcohol abuse has severe effects on people's health. It can even cause death, as it does too often. And it also causes lots of social issues. It breaks up families. So to combat this, we also decided on some alcohol restrictions. We agreed that the state monopoly system that's in use in some member countries such as Sweden and Finland is good, And that basically means that there are state-owned special stores that can only sell alcohol, and that would help reduce alcohol abuse. And we also recognize that education is important in making people aware of the effects of alcohol. We agreed that the price, or rather the tax on alcohol, as well as the age at which you can legally buy alcohol, should be regulated to be the same across Europe, as well as the amount you can buy. And among other things, public drinking should be forbidden. Regarding drugs, we agreed that treatment should be improved, and this would consist of improving recovery facilities and perhaps building more. And one suggestion was of these groups where drug addicts could discuss their problems with other people who know the experience of drug addiction. And the final part that we agreed on was that penalization does not reduce drug use, treatment reduces drug use. And thus treatment should be focused on rather than penalizing the use of drugs. For example, if you catch someone on the street injecting heroin, if you give them a massive fine and throw them in jail, that won't cure them of their addiction, only treatment will. Thank you.
Concerning education, we want better education, as better educated people are able to solve their own problems, meaning governments won't have to interfere as much. We want financial aid for education inversely proportional to your income. The more you earn, the less the European Union will support you whilst going to school, and the other way around. If you don't earn that much, most of your education will be paid for. Foreign education should be subsidized, and in general, there should be more investments in education. Concerning economic equality in the European Union and economic development, students should be better educated about economy in schools, as that does not happen everywhere, according to the people we've had in our commission. Clubs concerning economy should be encouraged by and sponsored by the European Union to improve economic knowledge, and we also agreed that every European Union country should have the euro as its main currency.
If we have a better educated society where everyone, even the poorest, can afford an education and can go to higher schools, then they can end up earning more money. We have a more productive society with people who are more skilled and have more specific skills that will be very important in the future, given the automation that we're seeing. And it is necessary that we don't leave anyone behind. And these people who are being subsidized by the EU with their education will be able to pay it back in the future with their higher taxes, because they will earn significantly more than as if they didn't have high school or college education.
As far as it concerns economical funds, we thought that it would be important to use funds to integrate people who come from different countries, of course. These people need help to find a job, but the most important thing is education. These people have the right to join school, have the right to learn new languages, and they also have to be informed about economic, social, political issues of the country they arrive in for their first time. So we agreed that they should be, this thing could be done in new accommodation centers, which should be created equally in each country of the European Union. And as far as it concerns sensibilization, we agreed that it is important to inform the citizens of developed countries about the background of refugees or migrants who decide to leave their home, families, belongings. So it is really important to eliminate stereotypes in nowadays. We thought about organization of international projects, thanks to the help of each country member of the European Union. And also, citizens should be informed about the reason why people leave their countries. Also, like, we focused on war because the main reason people leave their countries is because of the war. So, like, the European Union members don't have military influence on most developing countries. However, it is clear that controlling more the selling of weapons would surely represent a solution for the future. Thank you.
Starting off with the information, we need to teach better policies how to get jobs, how to write a CV, and how to get a position in the work industry. It's hard these days, and we have talked about a lot of countries that don't really have a lot of jobs. And this should be the school's responsibility to help the youth into their jobs. We have talked about motivating the companies into hiring younger people. It's hard to get a job when you don't have any past experience. We have talked a lot about scholarships or introduction courses where you get to have an internship at a work. Where you work, this makes it for free labor, and you as youth get a chance to have free experience with help from the school, help from a company, and which will later lead to a job possibly. We've also talked a lot about how we set up this information. We would like the EU to take responsibility in creating a website that would hold a lot of this information, like around like the basic things like how to write a CV, how do I apply for a job, how should I approach. And then we talked about the school's responsibility and the country's responsibilities in that there should be laws, like what requires hiring a youth. You should have a minimum wage. You should be, and how the EU can help by providing extra money if they're hiring younger people, because it's sometimes in a country like Sweden or Estonia, we're facing a crisis where everyone has a high degree, so people are not getting hired unless you have lots of experience.
If you discuss the importance of volunteer work amongst youth, because talking from personal experience, everybody says that it's hard for younger people to get to work, but if you have like a major package of volunteer work under your belt or on your CV, then it's actually really easy and to discuss how important actually volunteer work is. Thank you.
If we have a problem with like older people who is like trying to seek jobs and stuff and don't have so much like education, don't you think that these people are going to get it much harder to get jobs if the companies get money for hiring young people?
That's a good question, but we've discussed this topic as well. It's a lot about having a part-time job. We don't want to give away full-time jobs to youth in school or studying. That's why we're giving them money for having, for example, a weekend job, helping in a supermarket, helping at a fast food store or a chain like that. We're not looking to give away full-time jobs directly, like in higher chains, because youth don't really have that experience yet. But it's a good question.